So I actually found this on eBay, which is the actual control of advertisements, Town and Country Planning Regulations 2007. But it's not the actual act of law that you find on the government legislation website. It's the actual guide to it, the explanation of it, which is pretty interesting. And lo and behold, here on page 7, it's got the definition of an advertisement, and exactly as I've been saying, this is absolutely fantastic because this is a book by the government, which is entitled the 2007 Town and Country Planning Control of Advertisements, which actually within it refers to the 1990 Town and Country Planning Act definition of what an advertisement is. Any words, letters, a model, signs, placards, board notices, awnings, blinds, devices, or any representations. So it's exactly as I said, but it doesn't actually include what's carried by a person, because when a person's carrying it, it's when you've got the right to petition, it's actually, if you're using it for elections or petitions, it's your own personal representation, and you're just directly using the right to petition on that, and all prosecutions for doing so are illegal. But if you place it somewhere, like if you put it down, or if it's at the side of you, or fasten it in public, then all this does apply. Or if it's on a vehicle or something like that, I suppose, parked up. But this is exactly what I said, that the 1990 definitions apply to the 2007 Act, surely, and here they are inside it. So that's something interesting. So this is what it says about the scope of the control. I haven't read it yet. This is the first time I'm reading it with you now. Advertisements accepted from deemed and express consent. So it says the regulations apply to display of advertisements on land. This includes advertisements on buildings and advertisements on water. Well, buildings include infrastructure and bridges and stuff like that, because you can have advertisements on structures, like on Christmas lights on bridges and stuff like that, which are advertising a representation of Christmas or a model of Christmas. So that includes those bridges. When those people got arrested, it's not the police's business. It's actually responsible of the local public authority, the council, if someone's climbing on a bridge, putting an advert on there, really. If the police want to be there for safety purposes, fair enough, but actually for the placement and removal of it, it's all under the local council control, really. And that's even to do with consents, whether it's even needed or not needed. The exceptions are those classes specified in Schedule 1 to which Parts 2 and 3 of the regulations do not apply to those advertisements which are accepted from control by Regulation 1.2. Anything employed wholly as a memorial, as a railway signal or placard or other object borne by an individual or animal. Well, unless you're installing it, obviously, if it's borne by you, but you're going to place it or install it, like on a bridge or structure, then that's installation without requirement of any consent. It says that the regulations do not apply to those advertisements which are accepted from control by Regulation 1.2. The 9 classes of advertisement accepted from deemed and express consent. It's got all your classes, like Class A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. The advertisement section from deemed and express consent. The 9 classes of advertisement accepted from deemed and express consent are: A, an advertisement displayed or enclosed on land but are not readily visible from outside the enclosure, or from any part of it, the public have a right of access. These can include advertisements into the railway station and its forecourt, bus station and its forecourt, sports stadium, also include shopping mall or arcade, but not an historic shopping arcade, which is defined as a group of buildings of which more than 50% are of listed buildings or within a conservation area. It does not include advertisements displayed in public parks, public gardens, or open space used by the public or land alongside railways. Class B, an advertisement displayed on or in any vehicle. So that would be like the Stop ULEZ bus as well, normally employed as a moving vehicle. This includes boats, any vessel, or any inland waterway, or in coastal waters, trains, or aeroplanes. Huh. Well, if aeroplanes are exempted from control of advertisements, then you don't need permission, but it's definitely classed as an advertisement, not as a damage. Because this is what defines what an advertisement is. This does not include vehicles in principle for display advertisements, stationary vehicles or trailers in fields or laybys used for advertising purposes. It does not include vehicles used in principle for the display advertisements, e.g. stationary vehicles or trailers in fields or laybys used for advertising purposes. But it's still defined as an advertisement though, isn't it? Class C, here we go. An advertisement incorporated in the fabric of a building. Incised stonework lettering. It does not include an advertisement. I never thought, incised stonework lettering. I didn't even think of that ever. But that's actually here is defined. It can be defined as an advertisement, not as damage though, because here it says that incised stonework lettering. Well, but that's a definition. Clearly, that is a definition of something that is an advertisement, whether or it's deemed express consent or not. Maybe that isn't damage. Then so it defines it here as stonework lettering. Does not include an advertisement fixed to or painted. Advertisement incorporated in the fabric of a building. Does not include an advertisement fixed to or painted on a building. Does not allow hoardings or similar structures to be part of the building. Class C, an advertisement incorporated in the fabric of a building, e.g. incised stonework lettering. It does not include an advertisement fixed to or painted on a building. But that's still defined as an advertisement though. Still says that it's an advertisement under the definition of advertisements. An advertisement, so it's still defining it as an advertisement, but not defined as this is damage. Fixed or painted on a building. Does not allow hoardings or similar structures to be part of the building. What's the advertisement incorporated in the fabric of a building? E.g. incised. Also, it's actually saying that it's just saying that incised stonework lettering is incorporated into the fabric of a building. But the advertisement fixed or painted on a building, according to this, Class D which refers to and is displayed on an article which includes a gas or liquid for sale or is container dispense provided with advertisement illuminated. Specifically open. Oh look, Class E for elections. An advertisement relating specifically to a pending parliamentary, European Assembly or local government election, or to referendum to be reported after the close of the poll. Hey, how come the Chancellor of the Exchequer, her advert wasn't removed from YouTube, was it? That's an illuminated advertisement on a device. How come it wasn't, that advertisement wasn't removed after the end of the her election? Referendum have now been included in this class of advertisements. So even anything that is for or against a candidate in any way is Class E, which is all you can out. Class F, an advertisement required by standing orders of either House of Parliament or by an enactment or statutory condition. It's got it written out slightly different here. It's actually got it doesn't actually, or by any enactment. Well, you're using the 1688 Bill of Rights right to petition, aren't you? Well, this is interesting because what the words of this are for F, right? If you get this, the wording of this, right? It says an advertisement, but that's under the definition of what an advertisement really is. Doesn't matter whether it's exempted or not exempted, or whether it's one under control or not under control. It's still an advertisement under what the definitions of an advertisement is. So that would even be a painted one on a building, because it says that it is an advertisement. If it's painted, look, an advertisement fixed to or painted on a building. Well, it's still an advertisement. It's not damage. It says that this is defining an advertisement, whether or not you got consent for it or not, or whether it's in excluded or exempted or not. And here it sets out your Class F, right? Well, you're using standing orders of Parliament under the Petitions Committee, right? And by any enactment. Well, if you're using the 1688 Bill of Rights enactment that you can't be prosecuted, then, riddle me that. It's defined as advert, it's not damage. So, and then we've got Class G, traffic signs as defined in Section 64(1) of the Road Traffic Regulation Act, right? But they've got advertisements over the top of motorways, giant cats, and spaceships looking 3D flying around over highways, and Christmas lights on highways and structures and bridges. So that's defined as an advert in G. You can combine these classes also as well. And then you've got the flags there, patriotic, and then Class I. So actually, I would say that this actually really helps to clarify that you have the right to petition must completely and totally apply.